Welcome in, guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll get started here in just a minute. Small group today. Maybe it's summertime and everybody's out having fun, but since we do have just a few people on today, we'll wait for a few more folks to jump on. And there's something screwy going on with my computer. I have to hold down Option and Spacebar to unmute myself. I hate Teams. The next person that puts me on a Teams meeting is fired. That means Paul's been fired for like 40 times. But we're gonna get started here in just a second, or until my fingers cramp out from holding these two buttons down so that I'm unmuted. So if I do unmute in the middle of what I'm saying, someone try to let me know, and I'll contort my fingers again to make sure I can. Or if anybody's out there that knows how to make this permanently unmute, hey, just put it in the chat. Yeah, we're just a tech company and can't figure this out. So we'll get started here in just a few. We'll give it like 2 more minutes, and then we'll get cracking here. But since I hate silence, let's just chat while we're waiting for more people to jump on. Anybody have any fun summer plans happening? Anyone doing anything fun? Put it in the chat. Let's see who's got a fun summer coming up here. Nobody. You're as boring as we are. I don't think I have anything too fun going on. Got the kids out of school. We do this place every year called Pirates Cove. It's actually a private house. Oh, someone's going to Panama. Hey, who's going to Utah? That's great. Oh, that's you, Allie. Okay. Hold on, I better put this on mute. Panama. We were in Panama. Oh yeah, that's you. Yeah, the only people responding are members of the team. Allie's coming to Utah. Yeah. Paul's going to Panama. I was in Panama about a year ago. Okay, good. Mike's going to Florida. Oh yeah,
they're going to Norway.
Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. I was gonna go, but I've got all my Arizona family coming into town to go to the cabin. And so we'll be down there for about a week with all my siblings. I've got 4 sisters, 3 brothers, and about 50 nieces and nephews, and they're all coming up. We're going to go hang out at our cabin. My mom's coming. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, folks, that's 2 minutes after 10 days motorcycle trip to Norway. That sounds like the most awesome thing I have ever heard. That sounds fantastic.
Sounds awesome.
Very cool. Cool. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get cracking here. But first, what I want to talk about, during 2 weeks ago, during our last call, I think somebody had jumped on and was asking questions, and me being a dummy, didn't look at the chat. I answered some of them, but I missed a couple. And one of the questions had to do with the EMC, the Ethical Mining Certification. Now, we are rebranding everything, so I'm still going to refer to it as Ethical Mining Certification, but Amy, who's on this call, has come up with some awesome new rebranding the website. You'll see that soon. I think Paul's trying to get that launched this week. And then we're going to rename all of our products just to make it, we're trying to look at things from kind of a better level, make names make more sense. We've evolved and grown over the past few years as we've been building these products, and we want to make sure that the names, because we envision each one of these products being, a big company of its own. And so we're trying to name these things appropriately. But anyway, one of the things with the ethical mining certification is we had a pretty ambitious goal at the beginning, and someone posted and said, hey, look, your goal is to certify 500 mines. And so we're obviously way off track for doing that. A couple of reasons. Number one, it's a pretty heavy lift. Signing on to the full ethical mining certification for some of these companies kind of scares them away, because it's when you look at the full thing that Amy has come up with, it's a daunting task for someone to be fully Element ethically certified. And so what we've done is we've divided it up into different phases. And phase 0, phase 1, all the way to, I can't remember how many phases. Amy can let us know, but I think it might even be like 4 or 5 phases. And the full phase 4 or 5 is full compliance with us going in there and checking and blah blah blah, which I think all these mines will want, because they're going to want their customer and their supply chain to know that they are ethical, that there is no child labor, that they do have an environmental plan, that they are, following rules, they're licensed, they're legal, all that kind of stuff. And so what we've done is we've put it into different phases. So what we're going to start doing is just getting everybody to phase one. Once we've defined, and phase one has been clearly defined. So we're going to just start with different phases rather than make everybody take on this daunting year-long process of getting fully certified. So we'll get everybody to phase one, and we're going to be working in bulk. So what we've worked with is we have a guy that we've worked with in the past that has ownership in 93 different mines, and these are oil, gas, gold, tantalum, you name it, it's everything. And so we're working with these guys that have influence over multiple mines at the same time. One of these partners is Jay Peters, that you guys know. Chris and David went and visited with him. That's the Tanzania mine. We had a great call with him this morning, and he has 19 mines coming up. And so all gold mines, all in Central Eastern Africa. And so we're going to be working with guys like this to certify multiple mines all at once, but also make sure the onboarding of that certification is doable, that it's not this year-long process. It's going to totally disrupt their company, but do it in smaller phases. And so once we have that all figured out, which is not hard, most of it is already figured out now, then it becomes easy to sign up, 100 mines at a time, 200 mines here, but it's easier to work with one person or entity that it controls and can then, so we don't have to travel the world going from mine to mine to mine. One of the other guys that's helping us with this is the owner of a software company that makes software for mining companies, and they have a couple hundred clients. And so it's easy to then work through people like that and say, hey, listen, phase one of the ethical mining certification is basically a pledge. You are pledging to do X, Y, Z in the future. Everybody will sign up for that. That's very simple. And then we get into the weeds and start getting people to phase two, phase three. So it was a great question that someone asked. And I think it was Michael that actually asked that question. And so just to give you guys an idea of what we've been working on, because obviously there's a lot that happens behind the scenes, especially with Amy doing most of the heavy lifting on a lot of these products. It's to get it into a digestible form and be able to roll it out to the masses. We have these great ideas and say, we're going to save the world and everybody's going to be ethical. But then when you actually get down to what it takes to do that, it has to be palatable to the people that you're working with. You can't just go in there and disrupt everything. You have to make sure that there's benefits, clear benefits for them to do this. And we have a benefit structure that will allow us to incentivize people to do this by tokens or nodes, and just the fact that they will be Element Ethical Mining certified. That's going to mean a lot someday. It may not mean anything right now, but at least they get a little emblem or a badge on their website that says that that they are working toward being ethical. And that's basically the process with a lot of our products, is that we have these big audacious goals, but the actual day-to-day implementing all these products and bringing on the masses, because again, all of our products, most of them are tied to token utility. We want all the products that we have to be purchased with the ELMT token. And so you have to make it so that everybody can, like for example, with the eVault, which is going to have a new name, the eVault is fantastic. We hope that there's 1,000 jewelry stores that are all creating NFTs with us and subscribing to our eVault services. That takes a while. That takes some work to do. And as you guys know, we have a few friendly partners already that have already created NFTs for their jewelry. We're bringing on some more, but for us, it's all about, let's get all of our products to make sure that they're purchased with ELMT, because token utility is king. Speaking of token utility, Paul and I and some of our legal team have been working with a local mint right here in Utah. I think we teased it last time. We've now met with them a couple of times, and they're fantastic. And they're going to be accepting ELMT as payment. And that's good for them. That's good for us. That's good for everybody in the community that is holding ELMT. And the reason why that's good is because it sends a lot of business to this mint. They're called Oz, O-Z, Oz Mint. Great guy working over there that we've met with a couple times now. We'll probably bring him in as a guest on one of our calls to talk about. Very crypto savvy guy. His heart is kind of where ours is. He wants to do good, and so because of that, we found it to be a natural relationship, a natural partnership with us. And Paul will be putting together some marketing material announcing that relationship. But Osmint is fantastic. And why would Osmint want to accept the ELMT as payment? Well, because when somebody goes and buys, let's just say Paul went to Osmint and bought $1,000 worth of gold using ELMT. First, Paul has to go to the marketplace to find the ELMT, which is great. He goes and now Paul already has ELMT. He doesn't have to go into the marketplace. And there are a ton of you on this call who have ELMT. You won't have to go to the marketplace. But as we go to the masses, those people that aren't running nodes, where do they get their ELMT? They get it from you, who might be trying to sell some of it in the marketplace. So Paul goes into the marketplace and he gets some ELMT, and then he goes and gives it to the guys at Oz. They accept it, and then I, Element United, send Paul 5% back of his ELMT. He's getting a rebate. And so now it just made Oz Mint probably the cheapest place to buy gold and silver. So Oz is happy because they're getting a lot of business. And we're happy because there's the tokens being bought out of the market. Paul's happy because he just got a $50 rebate, because if he spent $1,000 and we gave him 5% in ELMT back, he just found the cheapest place to buy gold and silver. So we have been working with quite a few different mints and retailers, but we've landed on these guys because they're like 7 miles from my house. Fantastic people. We had a lot of mutual connections. In fact, one of the products that we're going to be selling soon, which is Goldbacks, the owner of this mint helped design the very first Goldback, and then he split off to do his own thing. He has his own paper gold currency, which we'll show you guys. We'll have him display that, but we'll obviously still be working with Goldbacks and with Oz to buy gold in paper form. Paul, do you happen to have a Goldback handy that you can show everybody? If you don't worry. I have some, but it's.
I was gonna say, if you give me a minute, I can go get it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But anyway, because we'll do a whole presentation on that. But that's all about token utility. Now let's imagine for a moment that the word caught on out in the community of people that buy gold and silver, that if you use this cool token called ELMT and go to this cool shop called Oz, it's the cheapest place to buy gold and silver. And so we're really excited about this new relationship that we have, that we can go meet with him face to face. I'll bring the owner on. And so it's all about token utility. And if we can really get a good marketing campaign going and get the masses buying, that's really where people just start flooding in. Because as you guys know, most of you guys are node owners, and I know you're sitting around, you're on CoinMarketCap, and every morning you wake up and you put in ELMT where it's at, and every night before you go to bed, you want to see where's ELMT. Don't do that. I don't look at it ever. I do not look at ELMT because I know there's not a lot of token utility yet. And so I don't let myself, get moved by the little movements. Oh no, it went down. But anyway, I know you guys do that, and that's okay. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to be wanting to sell ELMT when it has a higher value. That's great. We're perfectly happy with that. However, the market has to have a lot of people coming in and buying the ELMT that you guys are selling, or the price is just going to go. And so when we talk about token utility and things that you can do with ELMT, you need a whole bunch of people out there that want the ELMT. And there's some really exciting things happening with certain members of our community that are going to be increasing the liquidity. They're creating liquidity pools. They're going to be doing a lot of marketing efforts. Again, the company Element United doesn't do that. That's done by you guys in the community. And there are members of the community. I've had a couple of them on here before who are out there getting ready to do that. And everybody always asks the question, okay, Scott, when are the members of the community going to get out there and start doing this? Well, it's kind of a timing thing. They feel, and a lot of people feel in the community, in the crypto world, that there's a run coming for the altcoins, and we're considered an altcoin. And they're trying to time the deployment of these marketing efforts and all of their money with that timing of this run that most people think is coming, summer, fall-ish area toward the end of the year. And so they're just making sure that all of that money is deployed in a timely manner, and they can make it, and again, I try to be careful with what I say, because I always assume, okay, if I'm the SEC and I'm listening, I'm going, oh, look at Scott, he's on there and he's making earnings. I'm not. I don't make earnings claims. I never talk about the token, but I do talk to these members of the community that have some very cool plans. very fun things happening. I know some of the marketing companies that they're hiring to do all this, and so it's going to be great. So from a product standpoint, that's what Paul and Amy and Allie and all the devs, that's what we are working on is building out these products, rolling them out, making sure that things are ready and prepared, and that there's utility, that these products have to be purchased with the Element token. What's happening on the other side, all exciting things. So we'll see if we can get on our next call, if we can get the owners of Oz on our call with us. It'd be a lot of fun. And then let's see.
And like Ali mentioned, we do want to get Jay on here sometime eventually. Jay Peters, we'll get a great guest on here.
Yeah, we'll get Jay on here. Jay is our partner on the Tanzania mine, and as you guys know, Element United, the company, has ownership in that mine, and so there's some really fun things that we can do. But we'll get Jay on here. You guys will freaking love him, and you're gonna love the guys over at Oz. We'll bring them on as well. I'm not using their names specifically yet because our contract isn't signed yet, but it's going very, very well. So anyway, a lot of really cool things happening. While I'm talking and while we're doing this, if we can get Allie or maybe Paul to start answering some questions that are in the chat here, and then make sure you hit me up, because I'm just talking and trying to hold my fingers down here so that
Allie's answering some of the questions in the chat.
Okay, good. That's great.
I just thought if you did want to just touch real fast on the game, because we have put it on the back burner. We put it on the back burner just because we've had a lot going on.
Yep, the game. There's only so much bandwidth we have. The game has been put on the back burner. However, in my call today with Jay, that was one of. Let me unmute myself there. Hold on. My fingers are getting cramped. For those of you that joined late, I have to hold down Option spacebar to unmute myself. And if I let go, then it mutes me. So I'm cramping. So let me switch fingers here. Okay. We'll see how long that position lasts. Here, I'll show you. Let's see. I'm like holding weird positions here on my. Anyway, so we're maybe you saw that I'm barefoot also. Good thing I was wearing pants when I did that, right? So anyway, lots of very cool collaborative things being done. And I don't mind using the names of these people, because these are, most of these contracts have been signed and done for a long time. So we're really excited to get these things to the next level. And a lot of times, if we're not working on certain things, it doesn't mean they're dead. It's just that we've prioritized other things. And one of the cool things that we talked about on our call this morning was using Jay's mine. So as you guys know, there's 100,000 hectares. 10,000 of those hectares have been kind of designated for us to do something with, like carbon credits, and that's what we want to gamify. And so that will be coming back online. We are never going to abandon it. We have talked to people that have said, just focus on this and abandon. There's no way. I personally believe the best way to get the token moving is to get it in the hands of tens of thousands of people. Those are gamers. Those are also people who are environmentally conscious, who love the vision, mission, and purpose of Element United. And these are the type of folks who, hey, if they can get some crypto for free, and we're donating. When I say we, I mean me, Scott. I am donating all the tokens that will be distributed through this game. Those are all coming from me, and I'm happy to do it, because I know that as I throw it out there, and if we can get millions and millions and millions of Element out there with people using it to make in-game upgrades. And the other thing too, there's a pattern here. There's our founders started Gala. They made it ended up with a multi-billion-dollar market cap because they did gaming. So we're not going to abandon that. There's a pattern. It works, but we believe that combining gamification, free play to earn game with real world assets, where an action that you take in a game has a physical action of locking gold in the ground that's not going to be mined, is awesome. And so we're still going to do that, but we have looked at where can we have the most impact and influence right now from a environmental and from a humanitarian standpoint. It's with our products. The game is coming. We'll get there. And there's a few other things happening behind the scenes that could accelerate that, but that's where we're at. So let me recap. When it comes to the mines, Amy has been working tirelessly to make sure that we can get our products out to multiple mines, to as many mines, so that the process of signing up a mine isn't this, year-long tedious process. It's very simple by engaging in phase one. And then we're working with companies that have multiple mines all at the same time so that we can bring on, 100 in a month, or 200, in a very short period of time. So we're working on that. Token utility is going great. I'm very excited to bring on a couple partners. We'll bring on Jay. We'll bring on the guys at Oz. And so yeah, it's a lot of very fun stuff. And then what I think we should do one of these times is bring on, because I talk about it a lot with these members of the community doing these cool things, because I know that's mostly what people care about. Is I have all these ELMT tokens, and when are they going to be worth something? I think it's better for me to bring people like that on so that they can talk directly to you, because they can say some things that I won't say. There are certain things I will never say, because I don't want someone going, Scott Lomu promised me that, and I don't do that, just to keep us all compliant, to make sure that we have a compliant, viable company here for the next 10, 20, 30 years. But I will bring on people who will say it, because they can, and they'll say, here's what I'm doing, here's how much money I have, here's the marketing efforts I'm doing, here's our strategy to go viral with influencers and KOLs. Here's our strategy to work with these marketers. Here's how much money we're budgeting to blah, 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 blah. All that's community driven, because they will be doing that specific to the token. I work on products. I work on and all of us on here, Paul, Amy, Ali, all of us, all the devs, we work on building this company and creating revenue from our products. All the other stuff that happens with the token is community driven. And so there are going to be some times where we get on here and say, okay, community, do your thing. And there'll be other community members who are going to reach out to you and say, as members of this community, we should do X and we should do this. And so look for that. I've been talking to a couple very, very large members of our community. There are people that got in early and bought, hundreds of nodes. We tried to limit how many whales we would let in, but I have been talking to people who have that, and obviously, as you guys know, these wallets are public. You can see who has what. I've been talking to some of these big whales, what we call them, on what their plans are, and it's exciting stuff. So, but again, everyone goes, well, then do it now. Listen, if someone was coming in and putting seven figures, multiple seven figures into a project, and they say, I want to make sure that we time this right with I say, good, it's your money, you do your thing. So a lot of fun, a lot of exciting things happening. One of those exciting things is our swap feature and our little contest that we have going on. So I'm going to turn the time over to Ali and Paul, and I'm going to let my fingers rest here and unmute so that I can decramp my fingers here. And they're going to take over and talk about the swap feature that we have that you guys should all be participating in right now.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
I shared the link to the swap in the chat there. Paula, if you could share it again if you want. Yeah. A few of the trends, we're seeing a lot of people come through and do swaps. It's exciting. A couple of things that we've seen that we just want to give a heads up for. To enter the contest, it does need to be a swap. We have had a couple people enter a transaction hash for a transfer they've done, or for a bridge. Those don't qualify for getting bonus ELMT. If you want the bonus, it has to be a transaction hash for a swap, either using our tool or out in the market using Uniswap or something like that. But it has to be a swap. And it has to be a swap for ELMT tokens. We had somebody submit a swap for USDC to USDT. That won't qualify you for the contest.
Ali, you have to go wah, wah, wah,
yeah.
when you say that. You gotta do that. You gotta make impact.
Exactly. Well, big sirens and awesomeness when you do. So I don't know what sound that is. Anything else we're seeing is just make sure you send a unique transaction hash. If it's a duplicate, it only counts as one entry. So
like AM just commented that they swapped 3 times and I haven't seen any emails. I would just say that you'll have to look into that specific situation, right, Allie?
Yes, reach out to support if you're not seeing anything. AM, I think I know who you are, and reach out to us. We have a record of your transaction hashes that you have submitted, and we'll send you a copy of what you've earned. All of the rewards that anybody earns over any entries each week will be submitted to your Element wallet each Friday. So look for those on Friday as well.
And I'll be updating the leaderboard on the landing page as well every Friday. I do have a short video to show you all. It's just the how to swap using that pinball or using the swap feature for this and going through the whole thing. So I was going to show that all to you. It's only about 3 minutes long. So just bear with me. I know I'm not the best on video, but if you guys want to watch this, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And welcome everybody. In this quick walkthrough video, I'm going to show you all how to participate in our new Element Pinball Swap event and show you how you can increase your chance for boosting your ELMT reward up to 3 times your swap amount. The swap feature is available right now in your Element wallet. You can access that both from desktop or your mobile device. Before we get started, there are 3 things you need to make sure you have ready before we get going. One is going to be your Element wallet passcode. This is different from your login password. You set this up when you first created your wallet. You're going to need a balance of either ETH, USDT, or USDC in your wallet, and you'll use one of these to buy your ELMT tokens. And you're going to need a little extra ETH to cover transaction fees. And so once you're ready, we're going to click on Make a Swap, which is going to take us over to the app.elementunited.com to log in. And from there, from the left-hand menu, click on your Element wallet. Now choose the currency you want to swap from, which is going to be your ETH, USDT, or USDC. In this example, we'll use ETH. Tap on Swap. You're going to enter the amount right there in the sell section. In the buy section, choose ELMT from the drop-down menu and enter your wallet passcode to continue. Take a moment to double check everything. Make sure the amount, the exchange rate, and estimated network fees, everything looks good. Click on Confirm. Your swap will now begin processing. This usually only takes a few minutes, but it can take up to 15, depending on network traffic. But once it's complete, you'll see a confirmation message. Okay, now here's the important part of the Pinball Swap event. You need to copy your transaction hash. Then you're going to go to our official giveaway form and paste it in. You can use this pop-up on the wallet page of your Element app. You can click on that, or you can just go directly back to the Pinball Swap event landing page form. Both will take you there. Once you're on the event landing page, you're going to need to scroll down to the Google form, enter in your information. This is where you will paste in your transaction hash. Once you click submit, you will receive another confirmation. Then in about 10 minutes or so, you'll receive an email showing your randomized multiplier, which will be either 0x, 1.5x, 2x, or even 3x your swap. Any bonuses will be sent to your Element wallet each Friday. You want another chance to win? All you have to do is repeat this process for an unlimited amount of entries. Swaps must be valued at $20 or in USD or less. Each transaction hash can only be used once. And that's all it takes to enter the Element Pinball Swap. Pretty simple. Just log in, swap your tokens, submit your transaction hash, and score a potential ELMT boost in a classic arcade style. Need written instructions or extra help? You can find links on the event landing page, or you can visit support.elementunited.com. Good luck and game on.
Okay. Game on. Love it, Paul. Paul, how many takes did that take?
Oh, so many. Sorry.
Nice. Nailed it.
So many. I'm so not good on video like you, Scott. So it'd be like the same amount of video of me having to do retakes, like an extra 3 minutes added. You know how they show the bloopers? I could do like 3 minutes of bloopers. So
awesome. Well, thank you. We appreciate that, Paul. Okay. Anything else that you wanted to cover today, Paul?
Yeah, like Ali already said, if you're having any issues at all, because like one of the bugs that why we delayed it in the beginning was just because like some people were having issues where it like the transaction would just keep spinning and spinning and the transaction wouldn't go all the way through. So if you're experiencing anything like that, reach out to support and they'll kind of help you with whatever you need. So hopefully no one has any major issues anymore. And yeah, and this contest we did change the end date to July 2nd. So they still have pretty much a full month to participate. So
That's
yeah.
great. Awesome. Appreciate that. Thanks for all your work on that. Okay, folks, unless there's anything else, we're going to go ahead and end it right here. Ali, Amy, Paul, anything else before we end? Okay.
Yeah, good luck. Keep swapping.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate you jumping on. By the way, the amount of people we get on this, and I get it, it's a Wednesday in the middle of the day. We gotta up this. Thank you guys for being here. If you know anybody else in the Element community that's got ELMT or running a node, let them know about this. Every other Wednesday of, first and third Wednesday of the month, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's when we do this. And so make sure we get more people, because hopefully, like we did today with announcing Osmint and some other cool things, which just keeps building and building. And, and again, I get it. If the coin was at a certain amount, maybe more people would be on here, but that's okay. Get here early, help us see what we're doing to build, and just get in and join on the momentum that we're trying to build. So appreciate you guys. Thank you. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Scott.